Hi, today we're going to talk about the truth about trusting them. When our loved ones who struggle with addiction choose to go to rehab or get help, it can bring up all sorts of feelings. We might feel hopeful that maybe this time they will get sober for good. We might feel scared that maybe this won't work and will be a huge disappointment. We might feel resentful that they are being cared for and looked after while we are left at home working overtime to make up for their absence. But one of the biggest worries I hear often is concerning trust. How can we ever trust them again? Trust is a huge issue when we're in a relationship with someone struggling with addiction. We're often lied to so much that our trust feels like it's permanently gone. Trust can never be restored in our relationships. At least, that's how it feels. But is it true? How do we trust our partners again? Can it ever be possible? Or will we always worry and constantly be waiting for the other shoe to drop? Trusting again is entirely possible under the right circumstances. We can and we should trust the ones we are planning on spending the rest of our lives with. If we can't trust them, we'll end up exhausted from the constant worry that they will disappoint us again. So how do we get to a place where we can relax in peace and finally trust the one who has hurt us and lied to us about their drinking, drug use, cheating, or pornography? Here's the answer in one simple sentence. Actually, it's two sentences. So, sorry. We watch. We don't listen. We open our eyes and we close our ears. That was two sentences. I know some of you are going, that sounded like four. It wasn't, it was two. There's commas in there. Let me repeat it. We watch, we don't listen. We open our eyes and we close our ears. One of the things that helped me was considering the idea that this disease is a separate identity in my relationship. I know I've mentioned this to you in the past, but I think it's so helpful, especially for those that are new. There's you, there's your partner, and then there is the addiction. So basically, there's three of us in this wonderful relationship. This disease knows exactly what to say to get away with anything. It knows just the right button to push to get us to deny our gut instincts or make us believe that we're crazy, that there is nothing to be upset about. If we find ourselves struggling to trust them again after rehab, that's okay. That is okay. After being lied to for so long, it will take at least half that time to feel comfortable that our partners have changed and are committed to their sobriety. In other words, if they have been lying to you for 2 years, give yourself a year of consistent sobriety in order to build back your trust. We must not be manipulated by this disease. If something feels wrong to you, it most likely is. I could always tell, I don't know about you, but just from the way my partner said hello when he answered the phone, that he had been drinking or was high or up to no good. And I remember my stomach would feel like it was being punched. My throat would sometimes close up or get a lump, and my heart would just sink. That's when I learned it's important to watch my partner's actions, not their words, if I needed to regain trust. I needed to wait and watch to see if his actions lined up with his promises. So if he said he isn't going to the bar after work, I ignored it. And I waited to see what he actually did after work. If he promised that he would stop looking at porn, I would nod my head. Great. But let his promise pass right through me. Instead, I would wait to see if he snuck back into his office or went somewhere private to look at his phone, because we all know what that means when we love someone struggling with pornography addiction. When our trust has been broken by someone who has a history of lying to us, we can stop paying attention to the words and just watch their actions. We don't need to hang on to promises, and we don't need to get our hearts broken because once again we believed them, and once again they broke our trust. I spoke to a woman whose husband is making it very, very easy for her to trust him again. He comes home clean and sober when he says he's going to be home. Her husband makes attending his meetings the highest priority in his life. He chooses not to miss one, no matter what comes up. And he is so passionate about his sobriety that he is choosing to mentor young men. Now, that is an example of a man who is working hard to regain his wife's trust. And it's working because he's consistent and his actions line up with his promises. Trust only works with consistency and time. So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you can trust your partner? I would love to hear from you. If you would like a transcript of this podcast, or if you want to meet other women that are just like you in a community that's totally anonymous, you can go to my Substack. You can just Google Love Over Addiction or Michelle Anderson, or you can look at the show notes and I'll put a link in there. And I would love to hear from you over there. Talk to you next week.